Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are well and safe at your place with the family. I am also fine here in Gurgaon. Working from home for last 1.5 months, completely quarantined, giving my contribution to fight against the COVID-19 outbreak as like you people. Well, the purpose of coming in front of you with the help of this video today is to share my insight and reflections on the learning based on my experience. I will try to give my views basis on my experience on the questions which are normally raised by the students. More often these concerns and questions are being raised during this lockdown due to some sort of uncertainty in the mind of the parents and the students, also in the minds of teacher and faculties, right? So the first question or what concern which normally is being raised nowadays, that what can we do to enhance our employability during this lockdown period. So friends, out of my experience I will say, apart from attending your online classes from your college and campuses, you can do something extra, and that for doing this I prescribe and suggest a model called CCD. CCD, yes, you rightly heard. CCD, it's not the cafe coffee day where a lot used to happen in past, but of course this CCD is a bit different, right? So I will tell you what this CCD is. So first C stands for connect. So I say connect virtually with the people, professionals, professors, peers by using virtual medium, social media. Start following the blogs and the streams of the professionals, those are from your domain area. It will help you a lot, right? LinkedIn, these platforms are quite popular. Spend some time on this. Once connection is established, start collect that information, compile it at one place, make it a reference point, because you will be getting a lot out of this new emerged environment and scenario post COVID or during the COVID-19. It will be helpful for you when you will be back in your campus or at your workplace. Start collecting those informations in a very systematic way. After collecting it, do not stop here. Start discussing those points which you have liked most, and those are related to your area of interest. Discuss among a group of people. This group of people could be your classmates, could be your seniors from the industry, or anybody else whom you feel that can contribute significantly. So make a small group discussion forums. Connect with this forum by using social media and apps, video apps, right? So it will help you to give you some different perspective from different point of view from different people, right? It will keep revitalizing and keep giving you new inputs on the findings. So use the CCD. A lot can also happen during the lockdown if we use the CCD: connect, collect, and discuss, right? And then the second question which normally students ask, that what HR looks in a candidate when they come to the campus for hiring. Well, this is a very old question and concern, but I believe there is no right answer. It depends on the person to person, interviewer to interviewer, the purpose of recruitment also, and the position and the industry also, it varies accordingly. But of course, some generalization can also be made out of the experience and the need of the organization and the industry. And I will try to generalize enough 5 points. I will say the 5 basic requirements is still needed. Let it be from any industry, any domain, any profession, right? One is intellectuality. So whatever you will learn in your campus, in your domain area, that is certainly the first, which you know very well. It matters a lot, right? Second one, I say it's a scalability. How you can convert that learning from your campus in a real purpose when you are in a industry or at a workplace. How can you expand the skill by using your knowledge earned in a campus? So scalability, I will say, yes, this is also used and attempted to determine in a candidate. Third one, which I say, the mobility. Yes, it had been a great concern for the student that they don't want to move out from their place. So I think this mobility is one of the qualities wherein the HR looks in a candidate whether the person is mobile or not. I will say that the candidate should be mobile, keeping in mind the learning perspective and the growth perspective. It helps in a long term if the person is mobile, right? Fourth one, which recently got added, though it doesn't matter too much at the early stage of your career, but I think post this COVID-19, and I will say the agility is one of the qualities which HR would like to see. Agility, when I say, it's like adapting, how quickly you adapt to the change in the situation or in any incident and situation. So agility is going to be one of the factors to be assessed or to be checked in a candidate while recruiting. Fifth one I would like to add in the series is the resilience. Resilience. So while being a fresher, we are bound to make some mistakes and to become failure. That's not once but several times, right? And to come back where we started after seeing and feeling that failure, the ability to come back quickly at the place where the things were started by the candidate is called the resilience. So resilience is also going to be one of the factors to be checked in a candidate while recruiting from the campus, right? So start working on these areas and you will find yourself a best suited candidate in the eyes of a recruiter. Another concern which is raised and question which is asked by students of the campus, on the campus, is that what is the importance of stability in any organization for a fresher? All right, so I will say, I will be very quite straightforward in answering this question. See, when the organization comes to your campus, they are determined that they are going to hire a person not for a day but for a longer period. So the stability, to be stable in the organization, is completely lies on the head and shoulders of the candidate, right? So I will say organization is determined. That's the reason they came to your campus. So the stability is not a factor. This is our behavior when we move to the industry and the organization, how we behave, that decides our stability, right? And moreover, any organization is in existence on this planet for the continuity. They don't want to wind up the operations, right? So certainly, while maintaining the continuity of the operations, the organization seeks the stability amid the change which is prevailing. So seeking the stability and embracing the change, this is what the dilemma organization all the time work, right? Same thing happens with the candidates to fresh students also. Stability of fresher is important as long as fresher adapt the change. I will say once again, your stability completely dependent on how fast you adapt the change. Yes, if you say I am very quick to learn, very quick to accept the change, very quick to change my way of thinking, way of working, way of sleeping, way of eating, way of walking, way of talking, yes, your stability is guaranteed up to a maximum or a longer period in the organization, right? So yes, this responsibility of stability on your head, not on the organization, guys, right? Work on this. So another concern which is raised normally is that what are the best way to improve the soft skill among students? Yeah, right. It's very important question, very relevant concern also, because these soft skills are equally important as your hard skill, your domain skills, right? So I will say there are certain ways of doing this. One way which I will tell to the students, those who have already decided and determined to go in a particular company or in an organization. For example, somebody has decided that I will go to the X company, I will start my career with the X company only. Though this privilege is not with everyone, very few of us as a student has this privilege, but those are having this privilege. The advice for me is that it's very simple. Rightly go check the site of that organization, try to find out the value system of that organization, and identify the attached behavior with those value system in the organization, and it will help you to develop your soft skill specific to that organization. Guys, just Note that point is specific to that organization at that function in which you are trying to foray your career, right? Because soft skills are not static, they are dynamic skills. They keep changing basis on your place, organization, position and your demand of the work. So it's a never ending story, it's a continuous journey. We need to keep working on enhancement of soft skill. So second population among all of us is that those have not decided where they have to go. I mean, the employment is a priority where from it comes, right? So for these guys, these students, my advice is that start working on two parameters. Number one, identify which soft skills you are lacking and which soft skills you want to develop. Number one, identification, right? Because this is something like, iceberg, which is beneath the water. You will not get to know unless it is told to you. This is also understandable. So we need to quite open that somebody should tell us what are my soft skill deficiency, right? We should be quite open to ask this question because it's not on the core or on the crust of the iceberg, right? Second, once you have identified, second is that identify which habits are to be changed to develop those soft skills. So guys, note it, do not start working on your identified skill set directly. Instead, work on the habits. Once you can change your habit or modify your habit, this modification in habit will result in advancement or enhancement of your soft skills, right? And for that, I really recommend a book while you are at home to read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? It's a very fantastic book. Read it once, twice, and then try to apply it, right? There are 7 habits. I will just run through it. One is be proactive. You be proactive, you will not be reactive, right? So this is one of the soft skills required in the organization, right? Starting leading from the front. Take charge, right? So you change this habit, you gain those soft skills, right? Second one is begin with the end in mind. So holistic approach, the competency of soft skill of holistic approach, this habits provide if you are able to change it. Third one, put first thing first. Yes, of course, it gives you, empowers you with the soft skills of competency of planning and prioritization, which is very important, and along with the time management skills, right? The fourth one is the win-win. I mean, the win-win interaction, win-win situation is another habit. So if you do this, you are master of this, you can really can get the mastery of negotiation, bargaining, communication, right? Okay. Empathy, you can learn the tricks and tactics of sympathy and empathy also, right? Fifth one is seek first to understand, then to understood. Yes, it will generate or enhance your listening skills very nicely, right? And the patientfulness will also come. True. Synergy. Once you imbibe the habit of working on the habit of synergy, it will help you to be collaborative, to be the team member, team player, and eventually, once you are a good team member, team player, it will make you to a good leaders also in the organization, right? So start working on the habit. And the 7th and last one is sharpen the sword. Keep adding anything new every day. Enhance your knowledge. 7 habits. Learn it from this book, exercise it, watch on YouTube how these things are being put into the practice. There are a lot of videos available. So I mean, your soft skill set will get enhanced immensely if we start applying it. And last question and concern which is normally raised is that is the resume quality of the student matters? I think the answer you all know, and let me just crack the nut. Yes, it matters, right? I mean, just to give a different perspective to this, a experienced professional's perspective to this resume writing quality, then I will dwell upon 2 parameters. There are 2 ways of writing the resume. One is apply the analytical writing. One way is a creative writing. Right. So for writing a resume, I recommend focus more on analytical writing and less focus on creative writing. True. I think what is analytical writing? It's altogether different subject, but let me give. There should be something which is a logical and put into the sequence is called the analytical writing, right? Okay, and creative writing, something which is which is written in exaggeration, something, magnifying the status, magnifying the things by using some metaphors and verbs, which is not recommended in the resume because this is not advisable. So go for analytical writing. You can watch on YouTube, or in case if I get time sometime, then I also come back with my another video of analytical writing, how to write a resume by using the tactics of analytical writing. True. Some I will say some features of quality resume. I think how it can be done. Number one, your resume should be certainly there should be a readability in that, right? Anybody can read it, right? Should be very clear in that part. Correctness without error and mistakes. Focus on that. There should not be any grammatical mistake. Sentence framing should be very short, not much of conjunctions. So I mean that makes your sentence very broad. Try to keep in one line, one sentence, 8 to 14 words, right? This is what's admirable, because you write a big paragraph in your resume, it loses the connectedness from starting to end. So the advisable numbers of words in a sentence is that 8 to 14 max to max. You can go max to max by 16 to 17. Do not write more than this, right? So make it a correctness. Appropriateness, make it appropriate, right? For what position, what location, what kind of a job you are applying. There's no harm in modifying it. If you find the qualities are matching with your experience and knowledge, so there's no harm in modifying your resume as per the requirement of a recruiter. True. Do not write anything false in that, but you have a complete right to modify it as per the requirement of a recruiter and the position, right? And the fourth one, I will say persuasiveness, right? Make it persuasive, right? You should attempt to pursue the recruiter to hire you. So how it can be done? The fluidity. By making the fluidity in your writing, which comes through the analytical writing, you can make the attempt of persuasiveness that why you should be hired by the organization. And fifth one, I will say the thoughtfulness, right? Give your complete thought while writing anything in your resume. Whatever you write, you will be perceived by the recruiter in that way only, right? For him, your resume is you, until unless you are met, you are called for a meeting. So your resume is your mirror, right? Your mirror image. So while follow these 5 steps very nicely, and then you can make a very, very impressive and appealing resume, friends. So I think these things in short this I could cover. I hope it will be helpful for you during this lockdown period, but do not forget the CCT model: connect, collect and discuss. True. All right, thank you very much and wish you all the best. Be safe, right? Take care of yourself, your parents and your neighborhood also, because your safety is now dependent on the safety of your neighborhood. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.